Continuing on in InDesign, there are three key concepts to wrap your head around in InDesign. Number one is master pages, number two is links, and the third one is character and paragraph styles. So let's talk about master pages. If you open up your Pages palette here at the top of the palettes on the right hand side, what you're looking at is a thumbnail preview of the entire document. We have page 1, that's just a right hand, and then we have spreads, and then we have the last page, which is just a left hand. This is why you always set up your books with an even number of pages. Okay. The other indication that you can see here in the thumbnails are these capital A's in the corners. And what those tell us are that these individual pages are set to, up here at the top, the A master, right? I'm going to double click right where it says A master. You can see that that name goes from gray to white, and on the right hand side it grays out or blues out the spread that makes up the A master. Another good double check as you're navigating around your document, not just visually in the Pages palette, but also if you look down here in the lower left hand corner, there is a pop-up navigation that will allow you to skip to any page. You can see right now there's a check mark next to the A master. If I click off that, it's showing the A master as the active pages or spread in this case. And there are also radio buttons here to go forward and back, all the way forward, all the way back when you are inside of the document. Right now we are outside of the document on the master pages. The way these work, and I'm just going to grab a rectangle so that you can see this, and I'm going to fill it with a really obnoxious bright fuchsia color. And then what you can see over here in the thumbnails now is not only does it appear up here on the A master, but throughout the document it is showing it as previewed on all of the pages. Whatever formatting changes you make or anything that you place on these master pages will appear throughout the entire document. Okay? Since we're on the A master, any pages set to that master will show the same items. Okay? Still on my A master down here in the corner. I'm going to get rid of this giant box. I'm going to zoom out just a little. As you remember, if you're on a PC, Control 0 is fit page and window. Control minus is zoom out. Control plus is zoom in. If you add Alt Control 0 will fit spread in window. All of these are underneath the view menu. I suggest you learn the keyboard shortcuts, especially in InDesign. It can be a lot of looking around and spinning around. One convention that I have when I start a new document is I like to place my color palette outside of the live printable area on my master page. What we're looking at here for indications so far, this red outline around the outside, that is our bleed line. You can see that there's dark gray behind that. That is overprint, right? But that is printable area. The white areas are the actual pages. The black line down the center is our page gutter, our spread gutter. That would be in the binding of the book. And then these purple, fuchsia, reddish lines are the margins for the pages. All right. First thing we're going to do is jump into Illustrator for a second. In the description of this tutorial is a link to this PDF, 512 InDesign Minion. It's tagged off of my Design Scientist website. If you want to grab that PDF, you can follow along. I'm going to go ahead and open this. Since it is a multi-page PDF, Illustrator is going to ask me what page I want to open of that PDF, and I do want page 1. So I'm going to hit OK. Illustrator is going to think about opening it and kick around the whirling beach ball of death for a second. Now, any palette that you have set up and saved in Illustrator, you can select, copy, Control-C on the keyboard. I'm going to hop back to InDesign, and I'm going to paste. And then I'm just going to grab this and drag it outside of the printable area on my master pages. Again, just like Illustrator, all this dark gray area here outside the bleed is non-printing area. If you need extra copies of things, or in this case, this is where I like to store my color palette, feel free to use that area. Now, InDesign will sample this as one thing and try to generate its own palette. I think all of us spend enough time fine-tuning and tweaking colors that we want them accurate. So now if you open your Swatches palette, I'm just going to drag this open a little bit and scroll down, what you see here at the bottom, starting right here with this darker yellow, is the palette that I just pasted in here. Okay? It is showing RGB formulas, but I am set up in a CMYK color space, so don't worry about that. You can double click and change the names of these if you want. This maybe is my dark yellow, and that just helps to keep track of things and make sure you know which blue and which gray I want to be using. So that's how to get a custom palette in here. And the next thing I want to do is some formatting. I want to do this formatting on the master page so that it cascades through the entire document. First thing we want to look at is layout and margins and columns. Let's say you decide later when you start working on this for yourself that you want to change the margins. I'm going to uncheck the chain so these change independently, and I'm just going to up my inside margin to 0.8125 just so I have a little room and stay out of the gutter where the binding is going to be. Ensure that you have preview checked so that you can look at your changes as you make them. And the other margins I'm going to leave where they are. Again, that is up to you. That's a preference call. I'm going to hit OK. That change is made and that change has cascaded through my document. Now, to get my grid in here, again, I want to put it on the master pages so that it is available to me throughout the document. This is a non-printing element, so you don't have to worry about that. Under Layout, Create Guides. All right. I want to check Preview so I can see it build. I want this to fit to my margins. All right. My convention generally, I like my gutters a little smaller, so 1/8 of an inch, 0.125. Just use the arrow keys. And then for this example, we're going to use 9 rows and 6 columns. And you can see InDesign just built me a very nice tight grid that'll be available to me throughout my document. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to open my Pages palette. And if I hop down to page 1 and scroll in a little bit and scroll down through my document, now you can see I have my margin changed, I have my grid set up, and I am ready to start working. All right. We're going to go back to the master page, again confirming in the lower left-hand corner that I am on the A master, even though I can visually see that my color palette's here, and it's only in the non-print area on my master page. And let's look at page numbers. First, we need text. All right, so the type tool. It's number 6 down in the tool palette on the left-hand side. It's the big giant capital T, just like any other program that you're used to. So I'm going to click on that so I have the type tool. You can see that when I get over my pages here, it's showing me a pointer and an insertion. In InDesign, you have to use text boxes. All right, you make a text box by clicking and dragging, just like you were dragging a shape, a rectangle, or a frame. When I let go, that box indicator is going to disappear for now, and I'm going to be left with a cursor. All right, we're going to look at how to do page numbers. So I'm going to put minion page space and then stop. Because we are going to have a document that will have more than single-digit page numbers, it'll have single-digit, double-digit, and three-digit page numbers. We need a special character that's a mathematical space here. And we're going to insert that by going to Type, Insert White Space, and we are going to use an EM space. M is a measurement based on the default point size in your document. It's a bunch of math, don't worry about it. This works and it's the right way to do it. So special character, white space, EM space. Now we need to put in the page marker. So again, under type, insert special character, markers, and we want current page number, right? On the master page, this is going to show a capital A, which is a placeholder. I'm going to go back to my selection tool. Now you can see my text box and my page number indicator there. If I move down to page 1, you can see it says minion page 1. And if I start scrolling through, you can see, in fact, the page number does change. All right. We might, depending on your preference and what kind of wordage you're using in your page number, you might want to take out just the regular hard space and just leave the M space after the page number. All right. I'm going to go back to my selection tool. I'm going to open my character palette and change this typeface just so that I have something bearable to look at. And I'm going to use Futura. It really doesn't matter what you use. I do like to use a lighter typeface that I set quite small for my page numbers. I'm going to set this 9 point. I am also going to change the color. By default, that's going to come in black, and I actually want to use a percentage gray. So a couple ways I can do that. I can open my color palette as I have here, and you'll notice underneath the stroke and fill indicators right here, to the left is a square, which is how you would address the entire text box. If I drop a color in there right now, you can see it fills the text box. Okay? You're not ever going to do that. Right? I am going to turn this on CMYK. Drop down menu in the upper right hand corner. What I want to address is the actual type itself. So if I click on the capital T underneath, I now have the stroke and fill available to me. You can see the capital T in the fill, so we know that we're addressing the color of the text itself. I'm going to make this about 70%. And you can see over here on the artboard that my text has changed typeface and color. It's very soft, very small, looks pretty nice. The other thing I can do is in my Swatches palette, I can click on the T here at the top again. You can see I've got the capital T in my fill, which is being addressed, and maybe I actually want to use this gray, little bluish gray, out of my actual palette. You'll notice there's also a tint slider over here on the right hand side. Since I had already set that to 70, it's going to be set there. Since I'm now using a gray instead of a black, I'm going to set this at 85. Okay. Still with the selection tool, I'm going to select my text box again. Text boxes and also frames around images, InDesign will automatically resize these for you. And what you do is the anchor points of the bounding box, when you hover, you get the flat double-headed arrow. If you double click, InDesign will automatically size the box to the contents. I'm going to undo that once. It's best and easiest if you try to click in the opposite corner of the way you want the box to shrink. I want the box to shrink to the upper left-hand corner, so I'm going to click in the bottom right-hand corner. You can also click on these middle points. It'll do the same thing, but then sometimes it's a little hard to get in there and get back on those anchors. All right. I'm going to put these page numbers top and center on both my left-hand and my right-hand pages. So with my text box still selected, what I'm going to do is double check how my reference point is set. I want my reference point set to the top middle of the text box. So it's going to register from right here, this middle anchor point on the top. And I want that to be a ½ inch from the top edge. So I can make my Y value a ½ inch. Actually, I lied. I'm going to make it 0.375 because that looks good. And then I'm going to open my Align To and check how my Align To is set on my alignment tools here on the far right side of the taskbar. I could also open my Align palette and have the same options available to me. First, I want to check this Align To. In InDesign, you have Align To Selection, Align To Margins, Align To Page, Align To Spread. What I'm looking for right now is Align To Page so that I can center this page number on my right-hand page. All right. With my selection tool, just like Illustrator, if I hold down Alt, you can see that my pointer changes from a single black arrow to, again, hold Alt, a black and white pointer. This allows me to drag a copy so that I can put my page number on my left-hand page. I'm going to hold Shift for a multiple selection, select both of my page numbers. I'm going to change my Align To Align To Selection. I'm going to click on Align Top Edges. I'm going to hold Shift, click on the right-hand page number to deselect it. Now I just have my one left-hand page number, and I need to align to page, center that. And now if I zoom out to my spread, again, Alt, Control, 0, you can see, and click off, you can see that I have my page number set. I'll open my Pages palette, come down here to pages 2 and 3, and you can see my grid, my margins, my page numbers, all ready to go and start filling with content.